Reflection, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. You see, in a world full of noise, where everyone's shouting to be heard, reflection, fighting to prove something, silence becomes power. When you stay silent, people start to wonder what's going on in your mind. They start to respect it, maybe even fear it. Reflection, because silence isn't weakness. It's control. It's discipline. It's the sign of someone who doesn't need to prove a thing to anybody. Reflection, there comes a moment in life when your calmness will intimidate those who thrive on chaos. Your peace will unsettle those who live for drama. When you refuse to react, when you refuse to explain, reflection, that's when they realize you're operating on a different frequency. Silence isn't about not speaking. It's about knowing when your words are no longer necessary. Reflection, you've got to understand your silence can build your character. It shows the world you don't owe anyone an explanation for who you are, what you believe, or how you move. Reflection, the loudest person in the room is often the most insecure. But the one who observes, the one who listens, the one who waits, that's the one who commands attention without saying a word. Reflection. So the next time they test you, remember this: you don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to respond to every opinion. Reflection. Sometimes your greatest strength is in what you choose not to say. Because when you stay silent, you give people space to reveal who they truly are. And trust me, they will. Reflection. Let them underestimate you. Let them misjudge your quiet, because silence is not empty. It's full of answers. It's full of lessons. It's full of power. Reflection. Those who master it don't need to announce their worth. They just move with confidence, with purpose, with unshakable calm. So master this art. The art of silence, the art of patience. Reflection, the art of letting your actions make the noise. Because when your silence is disciplined, it becomes dangerous. Reflection. And when you master it, they won't just respect you, they'll fear you. Silence is not weakness, it's power. Reflection, when you learn to stay quiet in moments when everyone else is trying to prove something, that's when you begin to understand real strength. Anyone can speak, argue, defend, reflection, and justify, but not everyone can stay calm, composed, and silent in the face of noise. It takes deep self-control to resist the urge to react. Reflection, silence doesn't mean you don't have anything to say. It means you're wise enough to know that saying nothing often says everything. Reflection, it means you've learned the value of energy and you choose not to waste it on things that don't serve your peace. The world teaches us that being loud makes you powerful. Reflection, but that's a lie. The real power lies in the person who can keep their emotions steady when others lose theirs. Silence is not surrender, it's strategy. Reflection, it's the ability to hold your ground without raising your voice. It's the quiet assurance that you don't need to prove your worth to anyone, because you already know it. Reflection, the loud ones crave attention, but the silent ones command it without effort. When you walk into a room with calm confidence, people notice, they sense something different. They sense strength. Reflection, your silence becomes your armor. It protects you from unnecessary conflict, from saying things you'll regret, and from being dragged into chaos that doesn't deserve your energy. Reflection, when you master silence, you become untouchable. People can talk, provoke, or misunderstand you, but they can't control you. Reflection, and that's what truly makes them uncomfortable. Your refusal to give them power over your reactions. Silence is self-respect. It's emotional intelligence. Reflection, it's the ability to rise above noise and still maintain peace within yourself. There will be moments when your silence will confuse people. They'll mistake it for weakness or fear. Let them. Reflection, because the truth is silence is often the loudest declaration of power. It's saying, I know who I am. I don't need to explain it. The more you grow, reflection, the more you'll realize that silence isn't emptiness, it's fullness. It's the space where your strength, patience, and wisdom live. So when the world expects you to react, reflection, surprise them with silence, that's not weakness. That's power in its purest form. Silence creates mystery and respect. When you choose not to reveal every thought, every emotion, reflection, or every plan, you become unpredictable, and that unpredictability commands attention. People can't figure you out, and that unsettles them. In a time when everyone feels the need to speak, reflection, to post, to prove something to the world, being silent is almost rebellious. It's rare, it's powerful. When you don't react immediately, reflection, people begin to wonder what's going through your mind. They start to realize you're not like everyone else. You move differently, you think deeper. Reflection, you don't just exist in noise, you stand above it. Mystery creates curiosity, and curiosity leads to respect. When people can't easily read you, they start to treat you with caution. Reflection, they choose their words carefully. They become more aware of your presence. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their own insecurities back at them. Reflection, They realize they can't manipulate or control someone who doesn't react, someone who doesn't need validation through words. That's where the respect begins. Not because you demanded it, reflection, but because your quiet strength demanded acknowledgement. When you are silent, you force people to listen to your actions instead of your explanations. Your calmness becomes your statement. Reflection, your stillness becomes your power. People respect those who don't reveal everything because it shows control. It shows that you know what to share and what to keep sacred. Reflection. There's something magnetic about someone who doesn't overshare, someone who doesn't feel the need to prove their worth through words. That kind of restraint sends a clear message. Reflection. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to be myself. Think about it. The people who carry the most authority in any room are often the quietest ones. They don't speak to be heard. Reflection. They speak when it matters. And when they do, everyone listens. That's the kind of respect silence brings. It builds presence without performance. Reflection. It turns you into a mystery that others want to understand but can't quite define. When you master that kind of silence, you no longer chase respect. It comes to you naturally. Reflection, because people fear what they cannot read and they respect what they cannot reach. Your peace intimidates chaos. Reflection, when you carry calmness in your spirit while the world around you burns with noise and conflict, you become something that chaos can't touch. People who live off drama, reflection, who survive by stirring trouble, who feel alive only when others are reacting, they don't know what to do with someone who refuses to play their game. Your peace, your silence, reflection, your stillness, it becomes their biggest confusion. They expect anger, they expect argument, they expect reaction. But when all they meet is calm, it disarms them. Reflection, they can't handle someone who doesn't lose control. Peace is a form of strength that few understand. It doesn't mean you don't feel pain or disappointment, reflection, or frustration. It means you've learned to handle those emotions with grace. You've learned to protect your energy and not let every disturbance shake you. Reflection, people who thrive on chaos want to pull you into their storms. They want to see you angry, broken, and reactive because that gives them power. But when you respond with silence, reflection, when you choose peace over reaction, you take that power back. You show them that your state of mind is not for sale. Reflection, there's something deeply intimidating about a person who refuses to lose their composure. They could be insulted, tested, provoked, and still they remain centered. Reflection, that kind of peace can't be faked. It comes from self-mastery. It comes from understanding that your emotions are your responsibility, not the world's. Reflection, when you stop letting chaos dictate your behavior, you become untouchable. Your silence becomes your fortress. Your calmness becomes your shield. And your peace becomes your greatest weapon. Reflection. People who live in chaos will always try to disturb your peace because they can't stand seeing someone free from the same noise that consumes them. But remember, peace is power. Reflection. When you're at peace, you can think clearly, move wisely, and see through people's intentions without reacting emotionally. You can walk through storms without letting them enter you. Reflection. That's why peace is intimidating, because it's the one thing chaotic people can't control. They can't understand how you remain steady while they fall apart. Reflection. And that's when they realize your silence isn't weakness. It's dominance wrapped in calm. Control your emotions. Don't let them control you. Reflection. The real battle in life is not with other people. It's with yourself. It's with that voice inside you that wants to explode when you're provoked. Reflection. That wants to argue when you're misunderstood. That wants to prove a point when you're disrespected. But the truth is, the moment you lose control of your emotions, you hand over your power. Reflection. You let someone else dictate how you feel, how you act, and how you respond. Emotional control is the highest form of discipline, because it's easy to speak when you're angry. Reflection. But it takes real strength to stay silent and think before you move. When you control your emotions, you control your outcome. You see things clearly. Reflection. You understand that reacting emotionally might win the moment, but lose the bigger picture. People who provoke you do it for one reason: to pull you out of your peace and into their chaos. Reflection. But when you choose silence over reaction, calmness over anger, patience over pride, you show them that you can't be manipulated. That's when you rise above the noise. Reflection. That's when they realize you're operating on a higher level of awareness. The strongest person in any situation is not the one who shouts the loudest. Reflection. But the one who can stand in the fire without letting it burn their peace. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you decide how to handle what you feel. Reflection. It means you've built enough inner stability to face disrespect, rejection, or pain without losing your center. That kind of control is rare. Reflection. It's what separates those who lead from those who follow, those who think from those who react. There's a power that comes with restraint, a quiet reflection, unshakable confidence that tells the world, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of seeing me lose myself. When you learn to pause, breathe, flexion, and observe instead of instantly responding, you gain mastery over situations that once controlled you. You become calm in storms that once scared you. You move with intention, not emotion. Reflection, that's the essence of true control, when your silence, not your outburst, becomes your answer. And that control, once mastered, makes you unstoppable. Silence reveals truth. Reflection, when you choose not to respond, not to explain, not to justify, you create space. And in that space, people begin to show who they really are. When you stop reacting, you start observing. Reflection, you begin to see intentions that words once hid. You notice who stands with you quietly and who only stood with you when the noise was loud. Flexion, silence is like a mirror. It reflects the real nature of others back at you. When you give people time and space instead of reactions, flexion, they eventually reveal their character without you needing to ask a single question. Reflection, most people are so busy trying to prove themselves right that they never give silence a chance to do its work. But when you stay quiet, the truth comes to the surface naturally. Reflection, you don't need to argue to expose lies. You just have to wait. Time, patience, and silence are the sharpest tools for uncovering what's real. Reflection, people will tell on themselves through their actions, their inconsistencies, and their energy. You don't have to call them out. Just watch. The truth doesn't need defense, reflection, it needs distance. Silence has a way of revealing what words often hide. It exposes who is genuine and who is pretending, who respects you and who only uses you. When you speak too much, reflection, you give people the map to your mind. But when you stay silent, they have to guess. And in their guessing, they show their truth. You see who becomes uncomfortable with your calmness, reflection, who gets irritated when you don't react, and who starts revealing their own insecurity because your silence unsettles them. Reflection, that's the power of being still. It exposes everything false around you. Silence doesn't mean ignorance. It means intelligence. It means you trust time more than arguments. Reflection, because the truth never hides forever. When you stop defending yourself, the lies lose their audience. When you stop reacting, the drama loses its energy. When you stop explaining, reflection, the truth stands taller on its own. That's why silence is so powerful. It doesn't fight for attention, yet it always wins. It reveals reality in a way noise never could. Reflection, it shows who's real, who's loyal, and who's just pretending to be. In the end, silence doesn't just reveal truth about others. It reveals truth about yourself too. Reflection, it shows you how strong, calm, and self-controlled you truly are when you let silence speak on your behalf. You don't have to respond to everything. Reflection. One of the greatest lessons you'll ever learn is that not every word deserves an answer, not every insult deserves a reaction, and not every situation requires your energy. People will test you, reflection, provoke you, and sometimes even try to drag you into battles that were never meant to be yours. But the moment you respond to everything that disturbs you, you give away your peace, piece by piece. Reflection, silence at times is not avoidance. It's protection. It's your way of choosing peace over pride, clarity over chaos, and growth over ego. There's power in not reacting. Reflection, the one who knows when to speak and when to stay quiet holds control in every interaction. Some people want to argue just to pull you into their emotional storm. Reflection, they want your attention because your attention validates their chaos. But when you stay silent, you deny them the satisfaction of controlling your energy. Reflection, you teach them that your peace is not up for negotiation. You show them that you are not built to respond to every vibration of noise. That kind of strength unsettles people who live for conflict. Reflection, silence is not weakness, it's wisdom in motion. It means you understand that sometimes the best way to win an argument is to walk away from it. You know that no matter how right you are, reflection, explaining yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you is a waste of spirit. You know that reacting to everything only makes you predictable, but staying silent makes you powerful. Reflection, silence gives you time to think, time to understand, and time to choose a response that serves your purpose, not your emotions. When you don't respond, people notice. Some will feel confused, reflection. Some will feel guilty, and some will feel small because they realize they can't shake your foundation. They can't get to you like they used to. That's when silence becomes your message. Reflection, it tells the world you value your peace more than your pride. It tells the people who try to hurt you that they no longer have access to your emotions. Reflection, that's the kind of maturity that turns ordinary people into leaders. The truth is, you don't have to explain your worth to anyone. Reflection, you don't have to prove your point to those who already decided not to understand it. Reflection, you don't have to waste energy defending yourself in places where you were never valued in the first place. Sometimes silence is your loudest declaration. It says, reflection. I'm done entertaining things beneath my growth. The more you master this, the lighter you become, the free you feel. Flexion. Because peace doesn't come from controlling everything around you. It comes from learning that you don't have to respond to everything that tries to control you. Flexion. Actions speak louder than explanations. The world doesn't need to hear what you're going to do. It needs to see it. Words can be twisted, misunderstood, and forgotten, but actions, reflection, they leave a mark. They tell your story without needing a single sentence. When you start moving in silence and letting your work speak for you, you become undeniable. Reflection. You don't have to shout about your plans, your dreams, or your progress. The results will do all the talking. Real power doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly and changes everything. Reflection. People waste so much energy trying to prove who they are with words, but the truth is, explanations never convince those who are determined not to believe in you. Flexion. You can spend hours defending yourself, justifying your choices, explaining your worth, and still, people will only hear what they want to hear. Reflection. But when you let your actions show what you stand for, even your silence becomes convincing. You don't need to explain your intentions when your results show your discipline. Reflection. You don't need to justify your dreams when your growth shows your commitment. Actions don't argue, they demonstrate. Every great person learned to move in silence. Flexion. They didn't tell the world what they were working on, they simply worked. They didn't beg for recognition, they earned it. They understood that consistency speaks far louder than promises. Flexion. When you work quietly and show results, you earn respect, not through noise, but through proof. The people who doubted you begin to notice. Reflection. The ones who underestimated you begin to question themselves. That's the beauty of action. It speaks to everyone in a language words can't translate. Reflection. When you make a habit of letting your actions speak, you become unpredictable. No one knows what you're planning, but everyone sees what you've accomplished. Flexion. That kind of mystery builds strength. It creates confidence that doesn't need attention. The louder people talk, the more you stay focused on building. Because when your time comes, flexion, when your effort finally blossoms, the results will silence every doubt, every critic, every whisper. Your success will become the loudest noise in the room. It's easy to say what you'll do, flexion, but it takes discipline to follow through when no one is watching. That's what separates talkers from doers. So stop explaining, stop justifying, and stop seeking approval. Flexion. Let your progress speak for you. Let your work be your defense. Let your consistency be your answer. Because when you live by action, not explanation, reflection, you become unstoppable, not because of what you say, but because of what you silently build. Master the art of calm confidence. Real strength isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention, reflection, and it never needs validation. It's quiet, steady, and unshakable. Calm confidence is the presence of power without the need to prove it. It's walking into a room without saying a word, reflection. Yet people feel your energy. It's knowing exactly who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going without needing to announce it to anyone. Reflection. The calm person always wins because they see clearly while others panic. They respond with purpose while others react with emotion. That calmness isn't luck. It's mastery. It's the result of choosing inner peace over outside noise, focus over distraction, and composure over chaos. When you master calm confidence, you stop being controlled by what others think. Reflection. You stop seeking approval because your validation comes from within. You no longer rush to prove your worth. You simply live it. Reflection. Calm confidence doesn't need applause. It finds satisfaction in growth, in progress, and staying true to its mission. It's a form of quiet dominance that speaks through presence, reflection, not performance. People respect that kind of strength because it can't be faked. Anyone can pretend to be confident when things are easy. Flexion. But true confidence shows when everything is falling apart. When you're still steady, still composed, still moving forward without fear. The world often mistakes calmness for weakness, flexion, but those who live in chaos know how intimidating a calm person really is. When you don't flinch under pressure, when you don't react to provocation, flexion, when you keep your tone steady while others lose control, that's when they realize you hold the power. Calm confidence makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability creates respect. Reflection, you become someone people watch closely because they can't tell what you'll do next. Your silence becomes strategy, your composure becomes leadership, and your patience becomes strength. Reflection, calm confidence isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally balanced. It's about knowing when to speak, when to move, and when to wait. Flexion, it's the art of timing, of not letting emotions make decisions that discipline should make. When you master this, you stop chasing things and start attracting them. reflection. You begin to lead without trying. You begin to inspire without speaking. And when others see that you can remain still in the middle of storms, they start to trust your strength, reflection, even if you never ask for it. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't fade. It grows stronger with every challenge. Because calm confidence is not a performance, reflection. It's a reflection of a person who has mastered themselves. In the end, silence is not just the absence of words. It's the presence of strength. It's the space where clarity is born, reflection, where power grows and where respect is earned. When you learn to control your tongue, your emotions, and your reactions, you rise above the noise of the world. Reflection, you no longer chase validation or argue for understanding. You simply move with quiet purpose. Remember, storms make noise, but calm seas run deep. Be that deep current, steady, powerful, flexion, and unstoppable. Let your silence speak, let your peace protect you, and let your actions echo louder than your words ever could. Because the moment you master silence, you master yourself, reflection. And when you master yourself, the world starts to listen, even when you say nothing at all.